Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day as always. Leaving a like, leaving a comment, or subscribing helps out the channel immensely, very much appreciated. Yeah, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. You guys know the deal. Today's going to be another very weird news day. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Bitcoin indicator that historically predicts explosive moves has just started flashing. The news is kind of all over the place, and I was a little shocked because you'll see the other news in a little bit. One of the main themes for today's price news, for some reason, is moving back on up that mountain. Nearly every single price thing that I kept on seeing was talking about an explosive move, a movement upward. Is a breakout about to happen? Will prices rise? It says huge breakout coming? Question mark. As Ethereum surpasses previous network highest growth day of 2022. Apparently, as always, a lot of people have been using Ethereum. It is the most used blockchain on the planet, but apparently that metric has gone even higher. There's more network usage, there's more dApps, there's more so-and-so. And this is normally, under normal circumstances, an indicator as to if a coin is going to be moving up higher in price. It says technical analysis. Ethereum price at a make or break level remains attractive to sellers. I think everything is pretty make or break. It's been this way for about a year. There is nothing that makes or breaks our market more than the global macroeconomic events that are constantly taking place. It says Ethereum price ongoing uncertainty may end with a triangle breakout. And this one says Ethereum price prediction, could ETH break out? I'm not sure where this idea came from, but for some reason everyone today was obsessed with the idea of Ethereum breaking out in price. I mean, it's not unbelievable that it could happen, but more so, let's pay attention to the last year and a half as an indicator for probably what's going to be taking place. For those not looking at the screen, it says stock futures fall to start week with key inflation data and earnings ahead. That's right, we have entered yet another situation where we are going to be hearing about how companies have been doing, how inflation has been doing across the United States of America. It says stock futures were lower on Monday morning as the markets came out of a tumultuous week, big word, and traders looked ahead to key reports coming in the next week that can offer insights into the health of the economy. I believe on Thursday, we get inflation news from the Federal Reserve. I think sometime Friday? Sometime during the end of this week, we will get news about the banks and their earnings, if they've been doing well, and how other companies are doing. And I believe next week is like Domino's and a bunch of other places that I'm not sure how that even made into. I would never have lumped JP Morgan and Domino's in the same sentence, but alas, here we are. A lot of investors, as we've seen before, this is not the first time that we've seen this year. We have seen this multiple other times, at least 7 or 8 times is usually when I'm talking too fast. Usually, whenever we get indications that we're getting inflation data, which we know is going to be bad, the stock market tends to drop in anticipation of the Federal Reserve, A, giving the bad numbers, and B, reiterating that they're going to have to raise interest rates in an effort to try and bring down the inflation that they can not bring down. Also, stock markets across Asia are currently falling. The title of this one says Stock Market Crash Live Updates. Bit intense, but it kind of is what it is. It says Hong Kong tech stocks drag market down by 2%. Asia markets drop. All of this, once again, in anticipation of one person out of 8 billion people on this planet standing on a podium telling us the stuff that we already know, and it's rattling markets across the world. Denmark's Inflation has hit 10% for the first time since 1982. This is happening all across the world. We had the metrics before. We talked about it where they were showing that pretty little chart and exactly how many countries were above the 13 or 14% inflation rate and just how terrible they were doing. There were a lot of countries, same thing, that escaped that metric before, and now they are pushing themselves closer and closer to it. I mentioned before, it's just completely logical. If we had seen any difference in the Federal Reserve's actions, or they had actually done something to curb inflation, inflation would be lower. It has been an entire year and some change, and nothing has happened except for the fact that inflation has either stayed the same or has risen. We are probably, more than likely, going to see sometime next year, definitely sometime next year, inflation rates will probably be double digits for nearly, if not every single country. And I mean, we're going to be like in the 15, 16, 17% range as well. There's also a lot of people, of course, talking about this. It says the Allianz chief economic advisor, El Erian, believes core inflation is still going up. What? That's crazy. I would have never thought about that. Yep, a lot of economists are all talking about that they definitely believe inflation will not be curbed. And this is why they have, and a lot of other people have been asking the Federal Reserve to please stop what they're doing and find another course of action, because regardless of what they say that they've been trying to do, it is not working. So where does that leave us? Basically, I would love to see the cryptocurrency market move on its own. Crypto was invented and created to move independently or exponentially, the opposite direction of wherever the stock market and the fiat currencies were going, i.e., they go down, we go up. If we see that they're doing absolutely deplorably, we move up because our system was made to go against them. But as mentioned before, and I make sure to say this nearly every single day now, just so that no one's actually surprised, when they go down, we also go down as well. So get ready. I assume this is going to be a very bumpy week, simply because of all of the news that we are getting right now about how not only is inflation still going up, but the stock markets are going down, and everyone's expecting less than rosy market conditions after we end up hearing exactly how bad inflation still is and what the Federal Reserve is planning to do. I believe their next major meeting is on the 1st or 2nd of November, when they will once again announce that they are going to be raising interest rates. Everyone knows that this is true. People are now, if you will, betting on if they're going to simply be raising it by half a percentage point or another 0.75. And if they're going to try and stop at around 5%, which is what a lot of people have also been whispering as well. That's all the price news. For some reason, everyone's kind of obsessed this morning with Ethereum breaking out. Futures around the world and also stocks in general are going down. You know, same trend the entire year. That's all the price news. And yeah, let's move on. In what could only be described as the most popular news story of the day. I don't know why someone hasn't taken away his phone or his Twitter and just put him on like a general timeout. And I mean that, and it's not even in like the nicest way. It's just more of a, I don't understand how this man keeps throwing himself into controversy every single day. Members of the Ripple community have continued to lash out at Cardano's founder, Charles Hoskinson, for saying that they formulated a grand conspiracy about a former SEC internal staff and Ethereum officials. Hoskinson's comments incurred the full wrath of the heavens upon him. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, and for those of you who do, here's a little refresher. At the end of the year 2020, I believe it was. It wasn't 2019. The former head of the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, whatever his name was or is, announced that he was launching a lawsuit against the company Ripple for selling or using the currency XRP as an unregistered security. Why, once again, was this a big topic? Because he did it on his last day in office. This man was in office for at least 4 something, or like the number 4 or something other years. And the idea was to a lot of people, hey, XRP has been around since around 2015, 2016. If you knew that this thing was being offered by a company, and the idea once again being was that it was harmful to the US public as it was an unregistered security, would it not have made sense to simply say, hey, you're doing something wrong with this coin in 2015, 16, or 17, as opposed to waiting to your last day in office at the end of 2020? Yeah, see, something smells a bit fishy. Subsequently, there was a lawsuit that was launched against the Ripple team, once again saying that XRP was being used as an unregistered security and should have been registered with the SEC. Part of the problem was the SEC never gave guidelines for anything in crypto. We do not know anything about any coins in the cryptocurrency space except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everyone expected in 2017, 2018 to, this coin is also not a security. I'm sorry, buddy, you're a security. Or just basically stating a type of metric, but that never ended up happening. The entire idea about a conspiracy, and I hate when people even use, and I'm going to refer to it as the C word in this case, because anytime, and I find it more so for the American public, whenever anyone hears the word conspiracy, it kind of gets pushed to the side and people go, well, it's just a conspiracy. These people have made it up. No, sometimes conspiracies can actually be real things. We've seen, if you don't know, the US actually unseals documents, I think every 50 or 60 years. It's usually once the people who have performed atrocious acts have passed on, that's when the documents are usually unsealed, and we can see the terrible things that they have done. It's just simply, at the time, once again, it was called a conspiracy. So the idea is that we knew that there were tons of people who were lobbying for Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you don't know what lobbying is, it's basically, not a joke, taking huge briefcases worth of money and going to senators or congressmen and saying, hey, can you vote in our favor? Here's this big stack of money. It's legal in America. Not sure why it's legal in America. That's why everything is so messed up. But people realized, hey, something must have gone on if only Bitcoin and only Ethereum were the only 2 coins that were singled out as not being securities, and all the other, at least at the time, 200 popular coins had no saying to them. No one said anything. So the news basically is, because this can go on for a very long while, Charles Hoskinson basically came out and was like, oh, the XRP lawsuit should have never happened because of so and so and so. However, the internet is the internet, and people began to scour, I assume would be the word, through his previous Twitter messages and what he said a couple of months ago and a year ago and a year before that and a year before that. And if you haven't noticed, he and many other people in the space, I would use the word dogged the currency XRP for their own benefit. Dogged meaning spoke down to, said terrible things about, noted how terrible it was and that it probably was a security and how no one should be so and so and so. The issue is, once again, remember my other videos where I was like, hey, you might not like Ripple and or XRP, but you sure as heck better be rooting for them. Why? Anyone in the class tell me why? Right. Because if Ripple loses this lawsuit, Cardano also goes down as well, as does Lumens, as does Solana, as does every other coin. Because anyway, okay, wrapping this all up, the main idea basically being is that the SEC believes that every coin is a security. If they cannot prove that for Ripple XRP, that means that no coin will fall under their jurisdiction in the cryptocurrency space wins. However, we've seen thousands of times, tons of other people who created these other coins, they talked negatively about Ripple and XRP for a number of years. And now that they realize that their projects might be in trouble, now they're all coming to the side of Ripple going, things aren't that bad. It's the same exact way. I don't know if you noticed, this was about 3 or 4 months ago. There was something where Someone from the SEC tried to re-clarify that Ethereum was once again not a security. And that same exact day, Vitalik Buterin came out talking negatively about Ripple and XRP. And it's like, well, that's really convenient timing, because I assume, whatever, I'm not going to assumption here. Long story short, Hoskinson tried to come out in relative support, and I hate that they use this like 20-year-old photo of him, because that is not what he looks like. He looks like this. So I don't know where they even thought about using that photo of him from. He tried to come out in support, and basically people, as the kids say, found the receipts and basically were like, dude, you've been talking smack about us all this time, and you basically realize that Cardano might also be noted as a security by the SEC, so you're trying to, show support now. This was, if you didn't catch my drift, this was the most popular news story of the day. Not the economy collapsing, not the fact that Ethereum might skyrocket based off of what a couple of people were saying, not that futures are falling or inflation continues to rise. It was the fact that Charles Hoskinson sat in a room, said something about XRP, and people none of that was words, but you got my tone. Yeah. So that's the Cardano, XRP, Ripple, Hoskinson talking negatively about XRP news. And I know he's going to say something again tomorrow. I don't understand why this man keeps doing this. Like, I really don't understand. I assumed in the beginning the point was to be active in the community. But everything he says is like him either screaming at someone or him talking about how amazing Cardano is compared to another coin. But then people look at the metrics of both of the coins, and we can tell that one coin is doing better than the other. And I just don't. Take his phone away. Just do something. Like he has to be a billionaire at this point. Doesn't he own an island? Like send him to paradise. Like let him live on his island for a year and then come back and refreshed or something like that. Anyway. That's the most, I'm not joking. This was everywhere news. But, yeah. That's the Charles Hoskinson news. Let's move on. All right, you know the deal. This is the second most popular news stories of the day. So apparently, what's this person's name? Rakatan? Zaradar has announced that they're going to try and repeg USTC, I believe that is United States Terra coin, I don't know what it stands for, back to Terra Luna. This has ignited excitement. I don't know. I'm not part of that community, so I can't really tell you. However, Terra Classic US dollar. The letters are all scrambled up. It doesn't make any sense. That they're going to try and repeg the coin that depegged, that caused the entire collapse of the coin to the project. Why? I don't get. Like, do you not understand that it didn't work the first time? That when the depegging happened, the coin collapsed by 99%. I understand that it's meant to be ambitious. It's meant to be, a way to bring Terra Luna Classic back up to that illustrious level of $1. But once again, on that fateful day when Terra Luna Classic's stablecoin began to collapse, other stablecoins also depegged, and many of them we have not heard about or from since then. Tether also depegged because it was clearly an attack on all of our systems. But once again, why would you do this when you know that there's a chance of someone else redoing the same exact thing to the coin again and then recollapsing the entire project? You can't tell me logically that this is just not going to happen again. We know actively there are at least 60 countries who are trying to make a central bank digital currency right now. Did no one else think it was weird that 13 stablecoins all had problems on the exact same day and all happened to depeg? No one thought that was odd. I think this is the worst proposal in the entire world. I don't know how this even got a remote ounce of support. So logically, I'm going to assume that the repegging is going to happen. 9 to 18 month time period. It's going to depeg for whatever reason, either lack of liquidity, maybe too much liquidity, maybe volatility in the market, or maybe the same exact instances of what happened earlier this year. Terra Luna Classic is going to recollapse in price, and no one's going to ever touch the coin again because of this moment right here. I'm not sure how people don't learn. Oh, also, if there's anyone smart enough or who knows about what this is, because I sure as heck don't. Why is it not possible to simply make a stable coin that always has a value of 1? Hear me out here. Because every other coin is algorithmically or like, what's the other word? Mathematically? No, like they're pegged to something. There's always a peg to something. Why can you not tell the algorithm 1 equals 1? Like the coin can never go below that. We know that currencies, like fiat currencies, can move in value against each other. That's because you peg them essentially against each other. We know that the pound can move up and down compared to the US dollar, as the US dollar can move up and down compared to the pound, the euro, or the yen. That's because on the marketplace, they made sure that these things are pegged to each other to show countries' dominance compared to another. Our currency is stronger than yours. Why can you not set the algorithm? If 1 Bitcoin is always equal to 1 Bitcoin, why can you not set it to 1 Terra Luna Classic is always equal to the value of 1? I mean that as a real question. I've thought of that before, because every single time that a stable coin comes out, for those of you who missed it years ago, we had tons of stable coins that were being released, but they were all trying to peg to the value of gold, or like, you know, it's 1 to the value of gold, so you can trade it in this way, or it's 1 to the US dollar. Why not? If we are meant to be a new system that is supposed to be better than fiat currencies, why are we still pegging coins to the value of the old system? Would it not make tons of sense to simply say, this will always have a value of 1 from this moment forth, regardless of what any other currency is doing? It will always be 1. Or even simply saying it is 1 compared to the US dollar. If you look at a US dollar, it is always measured in 1. If you go into the Federal Reserve System and they're printing money, they hit the number 1, it is always equal to 1, as 1 is 1 US dollar. Because what's going to happen is they're going to try and re-algorithmically peg this coin. I'm telling you, I can feel it. It's so obvious, and I don't understand. How did this get anyone's yay? How did anyone raise their hand and say, yes, let's do this? You saw what happened before. Oh my gosh, I just don't understand people. Also in popular news as well for Terra Luna Classic. Today, this also was popular news. Today is another Binance coin burn. Apparently, it's going to be happening once a week, apparently on every Monday. Everyone's very excited about it, allegedly. And the coins that we heard last week that were burned, I think it was like 6 billion. Apparently, the burn rate has gone up by 100%. And a lot of people are super excited for the future of this coin. I, at some point, believed this coin could actually... I don't think it's going to be the number 1 coin, but I could definitely see a comeback. In like 2 years, I could see a $1 coin. I could definitely see this, you know, people being like, whoa, that's crazy. But the ecosystem is so large now. Look at what they've done. If you repeg this coin, the entire ecosystem is going to collapse. I'm not understanding how people aren't seeing that. I really don't get it. So anyway, that's the... Is this also the same? Nope. Anyway, that's the Terra Luna Classic news. It has completely outshined, outshadowed, out something Shiba Inu. I don't see Shiba Inu almost anywhere in the news anymore. Yeah. That's Terra Luna Classic news. Let's move on. All right. Here's a really good pay attention one, because just off of... I mean, I don't understand how... You hear these numbers and you read them with your own eyes, and then crypto prices go down as if this stuff isn't happening in the world. The number of companies holding cryptocurrency just in Brazil has reached a new record high amid an increased trust in cryptocurrencies and high inflation rates. According to local media reports, the country's taxation authority, Receita Federal do Brasil, also known as the Federal Reserve of Brazil, recorded that, hear these numbers, the Federal Reserve has stated that there are 12,053 companies in Brazil that own crypto. Once again, the Federal Reserve of Brazil has announced 12,000 companies just in Brazil own crypto. The number is an increase of 6.1% from 11,360 companies in July. The RFB, as they're called, noted that Bitcoin is the most popular cryptocurrency held, followed by Tether, I assume as a stabilization in some sort of way against the decreasing value of their local currency. So remember how a lot of times we get news that like MicroStrategy or Fidelity or BlackRock or like other big money name company is in the space and how much crypto, they're buying crypto and they got this and whoa, can't believe it. Money, wow, so crazy. And I'm like, hey, I wonder how many other companies in the world also have crypto. Sometimes we'll never know. That's, it's crazy to think about that we keep hearing about these 12 same mega companies who are buying up tons of crypto. I wonder who else has it. In one country, it's the same exact way. Remember when we had news, it was 2 years ago that there was I don't know. It wasn't Estonia. Some country in Eastern Europe, how I think 3 of their parliament members owned $1 billion worth of crypto. And I was like, no one heard that. No one else heard that news. 12,000 companies in Brazil hold crypto. And that's not people. These are registered as like entities, as a literal company. How many individual normal people walking around also own crypto? How many are there in Argentina? How many companies in Mexico? How many in the US or Canada? Like, these numbers are wild, and we keep getting this stuff. The only thing I can hope for is that when the market does go up, I mean, like, we pump. I mean, like, I wake up, we're at a $38,000 Bitcoin. I go take a nap, and we're at 45,000, just based off of these numbers that we keep getting every single day. I don't understand how we could be in the red at all. I do not get it. 12,000 companies. How can you not see what's happening? How can you not sense the crypto revolution? We have countries, not Brazil, other countries who are actively using Bitcoin as a payment method. I cannot mathematically figure out what it would take for prices to actually go back up. Or even how much money someone needs to be able to suppress the price of Bitcoin at this point. You have to need an astronomical amount of money with all the actual interest in the market. So, yeah, you're probably not going to hear too much about this. This was not popular news. The most popular news story was Charles Hoskinson saying bad stuff about XRP like 2 years ago. That's the Brazil news. Bit of a shame. All right. Sad. Very, very sad. I don't understand anymore. Moving along. And also, for some reason, in popular news, and maybe this is something for people. Also in the news is that Ripple is going to be hiring new people. It says amid the bear market. I want to know who's writing these articles because I'd love to actually have a conversation with them. The amount of articles that I keep seeing saying during the bear market, during the market downturn, the market's down, they're still hiring, is kind of astronomical. This is when you build. This is when you accumulate. This is when you collect, when other people aren't paying attention. This is the time to make the money. There have been so many, I think there were 3 major acquisitions in the last couple of weeks in crypto. Like, this company fell down and some other company is buying them. And the valuation that they're buying these companies for is like $12 million as opposed to like the $1 billion that they were valued at before. And someone's like, why would they be doing that? Their valuation is down because the company still does what it does. You buy companies when they're crawling, like not when they're running and sprinting. You get it when they're at their lowest, when prices are at their lowest. You accumulate, you buy up these companies, you start hiring. Hey, we like you a lot for our company. We can offer you $300,000 a year. If the market's booming, you have to offer that person $1.5 million. You do these acquisitions when the markets are down. Also, Binance was in the news, and the article reads the exact same way. It says, Binance not slowing down investment spree, plans to spend over $1 billion before the end of this year. They mentioned that earlier this year as well. They were like, yeah, a lot of other companies aren't doing well, but we figured at some point a market downturn was going to happen, so we saved our money for the market downturn, and now we have all the monies, so we're buying up every single company because that's how investing works. So I don't know. Yeah, of course they are. That's what smart companies do. You save money for the downturn, and then you buy up things when the market's down, so that when prices go back up, you go, wee, look how much money I made. That's how investing works. All right. Let's move on. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. GBU Wally, Dotha Diddy, Manny Cryptos, Crypto Gambino, Bubble Mode, How's Life Austin, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, Blockchain Simplified, and let's move on. Empire Queen, Roman Gaba, Bitcoin Ben Arachno, Dave, Tony Ambrosi, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something in the Z-Way Lay, Mo Barazi, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Groulet, Lauren De Silva, Quoted, Biddy, Troy, All Good, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Paternoster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin Storio, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Wise Night Owl 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Gardner, there we go. Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, and Crayola Michelle URL. Thank you all very, very much to my Patreon supporters. Thank you very much to all the new Patreon supporters who have joined as well. I do thank thee. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel, everyone who left a like, who has left a comment, or who has subscribed. Thank you to all the people who have supported the travel channel as well as Money Rules at the Memento. For those of you not looking at the screen, Bitcoin is down by 0.96%. It's not that dramatic. It's still in red. It could be down by like 28%. So let us thank our lucky stars. Ethereum is down by 0.86%. Everything is kind of falling down at the moment. Dogecoin is down by 2%. Tron is up by 2.4%, but it's also now falling. I think one of the rumors is that what's this guy's name? Michael's son? Whatever the guy's name is who made Tron, is that apparently, allegedly, rumoredly, he bought another website, and who cares? Like, who literally actually cares? Stellar's up by 1.1%. All right, look at them. Luna Classic is up by 5% off of the proposal. I don't understand. Listen, somebody talk to the community, because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. I do not understand that. Yep, everything else is in red. Well, Maker's up by 2.7%, so look at Maker doing what it does. I do hope that you've all had a fantastic weekend. Hope you all have a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.